Hello, welcome to William Paterson University. My name is Joanna Torres and I am the Director of Student Enrollment Services. Before I begin my session with you today, I'd like to congratulate the graduating seniors. I know that transitioning to remote learning has not been the easiest. I know that you have not been able to experience the many rites of passages that many seniors do. Just know that we are here rooting for you. You're almost there, you're almost at the finish line, and finish strong. We'll see you soon. I hope to see you on campus and welcome you very soon. Let's get started with our presentation today. Our office is the Office of Student Enrollment Services. We are a one-stop, and most of your questions that you may have that pertain to financial aid, billing, or academic records are answered in our office. We do not like to send students and parents to various areas. We'd like to try to be able to answer all of your questions and concerns in one area. This is our agenda for today. I'd like to let you know how we offer financial aid assistance in our office. We're going to go through the e-statements, registration, and billing cycle. I'm going to have a sample student and provide you with the estimated 2021 tuition fees and room and board charges. We're going to go into payment plans and payment options. We're going to review the billing policy. We're going to look at the student health insurance. We're going to talk about authorized users and FERPA. We're going to talk about how we offer services with official records and enrollment verifications. I'll talk to you about tuition insurance and how to protect your investment. We'll also review WP Connect, the enrollment deposit screen, and also financial aid options. And then we'll kind of review some final thoughts and ways that you can contact our office. The way that we provide financial aid assistance is, and the way that we're set up, is that we have a set of kiosk computers where we can sit down with our families and kind of complete FAFSA applications, complete any online or verification questions that you may have. In the financial aid presentation, the director, Michael Corso, spoke of documentation to complete federal verification. We are the office that will be collecting those documents. We make sure that all the documents and all the pages are complete, that all the signatures are where they should be, and we make sure that the financial aid file is complete for the counselors to review for verification. We also provide an information of ways that you can afford your educational expenses through either federal, state, private, or institutional funds. We also facilitate the process if you need to sit down with your counselor and have a discussion about a special circumstance or situation that may be affecting your family. Billing statements. We do not mail paper bills out to the home addresses. Students and authorized users, which we'll get into a little bit later, will be able to receive an email summary advising them that their bill is ready for viewing. Once that email summary is received, the student can then log into their WP Connect portal, or an authorized user can go into www.punj.edu/ebill to retrieve the e-statements, make payments online, or just view the account information. The registration and billing cycle. Students are typically registering for fall and winter sessions in April. We allow registration for 2 semesters at a time. This way that we found that students can kind of plan their schedules better in the future, and it helps them graduate sooner. The fall billing will be sent out in July, and the due dates are in mid-August. For winter, the bills will be sent out in October with a due date in November. Then students will be registering for both the spring and summer sessions in November. The spring bills will go out in November with a due date of early January, and the summer bills will go out in March with a due date of mid-May. These are our estimated fall 2020 and spring 2021 tuition and fees. These are estimated because our Board of Trustees have not determined what the rates are going to be for next year. So we figured a 2% raise, but typically we haven't seen any more than a 1 to a 1.5% raise in the past. The flat rate for these fees are between 12 and 19 credits. So the full-time student will expect to pay $6,907 per semester for credits between 12 and 19. Our programs are mostly 120 credit programs. So in order to complete a degree at 120 credits, we suggest that students take at least 30 credits per year, which is 15 credits fall, 15 credits spring. If they plan it out at 30 credits a year, they will reach 120 within 4 years. So it's 30, 60, 90, and 120. So I would suggest that in order to maximize the tuition and the cost, that students take at least 15 to 18 credits per semester to help them graduate sooner. If the student takes out 12 credits per semester, they're still going to be paying the $6,907, but it's going to take them longer to graduate, which means that you're going to have to pay extra semesters beyond the 4 years. Keep this in mind as well as students also begin to prepare if they decide to make changes regarding their degrees. Right now, we are also offering our out-of-state students the same rate as a full-time in-state tuition rate for the flat rate. So a student will see the charge of $11,102 per semester. These are for out-of-state students. But then they will notice that there is a waiver or an adjustment or a scholarship that reduces the cost to the same rate as an in-state rate. Here are the estimated fall 2020 and spring 2021 average room and board rates. Typically, students are spending about $3,646 per semester in a double room. The Skyline, which is our newest of our buildings, is $4,182 estimated for next year. And the average meal plans are about $2,168. There are some cheaper plans and there are some more expensive plans. It all just depends on the students' eating habits. I wanted to walk you through, if we were seeing each other in person, this is typically a worksheet that I provide for our families when we're doing a consultation, but I figured I would walk you through the sample student, and let's just name the student Timmy. And let's say Timmy decided to not to commute in the fall and then decided to dorm in the spring. So in this scenario, Timmy decided not to take housing and a meal plan, and he's going to be a commuter. So the charges are going to be $6,907. Once we subtract all of his financial aid, which is found on the college financing plan letter that you should have received, you will see that if the student opts to take his loans, he will have a credit of $4,308. If the student opts not to take the loans, they would have a credit of $1,586, which they could use for books or other supplies. In the second semester, Timmy decided to dorm. So his tuition and fees are $13,134. And when you subtract his financial aid, you will see that if he opts to take his loans, he has an out-of-pocket balance of $1,920. And if Timmy opts not to take any loans, he will have a balance of $4,642. Now, in the next slides, then I'll show you how we can mitigate these balances. So how do we pay the $1,920? Well, we could set up a tuition installment plan for you. If we begin it in the fall semester, if we begin the payment plan in July, we could break down that installment into 5 monthly payments. So you can make a payment July, August, September, October, and November. The same goes in the spring. If we start as soon as we get the first bill, we can then break up the payments in December, January, February, March, and April. If at any point these payment plans are not suitable and maybe we need to change the dates or move them around a little bit, we are here to help you. This is what we do. Student Enrollment Services will be able to create an affordable monthly payment plan that works exactly for you. If you want to pay by cash, you can come in person. Currently we're closed, but we hope to be able to reopen soon. And we're located in Morrison Hall, which is in the same building as where the admissions are. If you want to make a check payment, we can also do that in person, but you could also mail it to the lockbox, and this is our lockbox address. And it's always important to put your student's ID number on the checks or the money orders, especially if you're mailing it to a lockbox, because the lockbox is really a bank and they're depositing the checks as they're receiving it. If there's no identifier on the check, which is the 855 number, they mail the check over to us. So it's going to be double the time in the mail, and that could take another 5 to 7 days. You could also pay online if you pay by e-check, which is you basically getting the routing number and checking account number for the bank account. There are no fees. There are no additional charges. There's no interest. You can pay by e-check for free online and we'll see it right away. The same goes for credit and debit cards. However, we are not allowed to store credit card information on campus, so we use a servicer, and the servicer charges a 2.85% convenience fee. So I would say in order to save, especially if you're using a debit card, in order to save that convenience fee, look up your bank account checking number and routing number and use that instead and use the e-check option. Sometimes some of the payments are coming in through like a third party or scholarship, third party meaning like some sort of company reimbursement. If it's an outside scholarship and the check is made payable to the student may cash that check. If the check is made payable to William Paterson University, that check should be brought into our office in Student Enrollment Services. Or you can mail it in to the P.O. Box as well. If the check is made payable to both the student and William Paterson University, the student needs to endorse the back of the check and bring it into our office in Student Enrollment Services. We will provide you a receipt for all scenarios. Some families have invested into a 529 college savings plan. In order to withdraw funds from those college savings plans, my best advice is for you to contact the plan holder and determine how they'd like for you, what they'd like in order to disperse. For instance, for Franklin Templeton, for my children, I ended up having to just call them and they'd send over a disbursement and send me a disclaimer. Some other companies like Merrill Lynch would like to see a tuition bill, so you may need to submit that. Other areas, sometimes they want us to fill out a form and include an invoice. So it's important that you determine how they like the disbursement and then request that information from us, and we will gladly provide you with whatever you need. If you have a third party or a company sponsorship or a local union who's going to be making a payment towards a student, they can provide a letter of credit. A letter of credit is basically on the company letterhead, and it has the department and the contact information for the person that we need to contact. It needs to include the student's name and the amount that they will be paying for that student for that particular semester. The billing policy is that semester bills must be paid by the billing due date. So basically, what does that mean? What we mean is that we need for financial arrangements to have been made by the due date for that student. Sometimes you might have some financial aid pending. Sometimes you might have some information that we're waiting to get a letter of credit. Whatever that means to resolve the balance on the account. If we do not hear from you, then the students do get dropped for non-payment, which means that the student will then have to re-register for their classes. Re-registering for the classes can be problematic, especially if there's a wait list. Student health insurance. Students are required to have health insurance on campus. Many clinicals also require the student health insurance or for the student to be insured because it's a requirement for the hospitals that they're going to be participating in clinicals at. So in the fall, you will note that on the bill, there's going to be a health insurance charge from Aetna. You have the option to waive this as long as you provide proof of health insurance. So in July, a portal will open. As soon as you get your bill, you're going to log into the portal, take a picture of your health insurance card, fill out the information, and submit it. It takes about 5 to 7 days for the verification process to go through and for the bill to, for the charge to be removed from your bill. Authorized users. Many students have families that log in and make payments on their bills. So it's important that if the student is expecting their family to receive a bill, that they also provide access for the parent to receive that bill or authorize their access. So by providing this access, which is done on the WP Connect billing and payment portal, these parents or other third-party participants have access to a 1098-T tax statement, which is what they will need in order to file taxes for the following year. They're going to be able to collect electronic statements and also make payment arrangements as well as enroll into tuition installment plans. This access does not provide access to the entire WP Connect portal. It only provides access to the payment suite. This is what the WPUNJ/eBill site looks like, and this is where the authorized users will log in. They enter their email address and then a passcode that is provided to them. Along with that, similar to HIPAA at doctor's offices, we have a Federal Privacy Act that we have to follow, and we have to provide student confidentiality. Although we know parents are making payments on the bills, if the student does not properly authorize us to provide information to the parent, then unfortunately we are unable to. So it's important that the students log in and also complete the FERPA release form that is located on their WP Connect account. It should be under enrollment forms. University records. There are times where a student may need an official transcript for either scholarship qualifications. Sometimes they may need it for sororities or fraternities. Sometimes they may need it because they're looking to get hired and that company employer requires an official transcript. We can send out these transcripts the same day. We have contracted with the National Student Exchange and basically the National Student Clearinghouse, and basically students can log in and request a transcript and we could send it electronically same day, even during this pandemic. Also, if the student needs paper transcripts, we can provide these once the offices resume our normal hours. We could provide this in the office the same day. Enrollment verifications are free. But this is something also that students may find themselves needing from time to time, especially if there's a child support issue. We may have to provide these for continuation of benefits, sometimes for health insurance, and other times for housing. They require some enrollment verification. So we provide these forms and these form completions in our office. Our normal turnaround time is 24 business hours. Tuition insurance. This is different from health insurance. This GradGuard tuition insurance option is available to students in order to secure their finances for that semester. So sometimes a student, especially an athlete, may suffer a concussion and they may have to step out from the semester. This will protect the amount of funding that you paid for that semester. If the student exits after the second or third week of classes, there may not be a refund at that time, and this protects that refund and it'll protect you and the tuition that you have already paid towards the university. So it's very affordable and you could buy 1 semester or 2 semesters or 3 semesters at a time. This is what our billing payments and financial aid sections look like on the WP Connect portal. And right now you're gonna find yourself mostly in the enrollment and housing deposit section for the billing and payments. And then also under the financial aid side, the financial aid award status information is where you would find the college financing plan. So this is how you make an enrollment deposit from your WP Connect. You click on enrollment and housing deposits and it'll take you to this payment suite. And under this payment suite, this is where you have to be very careful. You have to select enrollment deposits. Enrollment deposits are $125. If you decide to do a dorming, then you have to pay your housing security deposit, and that's $150. Please note the e-check and the credit card options. Important final thoughts. It's important that the students read their email. As soon as you've become accepted, as soon as you pay that deposit, you should check your student email at least once or twice a week, especially our financial aid offices and our student enrollment services offices. Because of the nature, the sensitivity of the information, we will not be emailing your personal email accounts. Also, it's important that the student understand all the deadlines, the deadline for payment due dates, the deadline to register, the deadline to drop a class, and most importantly, the deadlines to submit your scholarship applications. These are very important. You do not want to miss out on any free money that the university may have the option to give to you. This is our website. And basically, if you contact us at WPUNJ/CenterSS, we do have a chat available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. You can contact us anytime with any questions you may have. You could also text us. We are available on text. That number is 973-358-8994. And you could also email us at studentservices@WPUNJ.edu. We have many methods of communication. We also offer financial aid consultations every Wednesday. So if you want us to set up a phone conference, we could certainly do that. And this presentation will also be available on our site. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. At this moment, that concludes my presentation today. I wanted to say thank you for taking the time to be with us, and I want to wish you all safe and a healthy last few days of this pandemic. Take care, and I hope to see you all on campus very soon.